So today is the 19th of August 2011, and I'm just finishing off my third day of adventures around New York City, and it was quite a busy day for me today. My day began at 5:45 this morning. I woke up nice and early, and I did that on purpose. It wasn't by mistake. I did that so that I could get down to Battery Park to get in line for the Statue of Liberty nice and early, to give me a chance at getting one of the tickets up to the Pedestal. So I woke up nice and early. I didn't have breakfast. I just showered and got all my belongings together, and I just went straight there. And I was downtown and right at Battery already by like 6:45. And for some reason, I was the only person there. And I wandered all around Battery Park, and there was, there's people there. It's New York. There's always people there, but there was nobody at all getting ready to wait in line or anything, or like any sign of tourism at all at that hour of the morning. So kind of was kicking myself for waking up so early. But I figured that maybe I'd gotten the times wrong or something, because I looked at the sign and it said that the ticket office didn't open until 8:30. So that was an hour and 45 minutes away from the time that I was standing there. And but the reason I got in there at that early was because on Wednesday when I was there around 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock or something like that, and they had an announcement over the loudspeaker, and by that point there was long lineups, and they said that the lineup to get onto the ferry was going to take an hour and 30 minutes, and then at that point that there was no tickets available for going up to the pedestal of the Statue of Liberty. All you were buying was a ferry ticket, which let you onto the grounds of the Statue of Liberty, and you could kind of walk around the base of the statue, but you couldn't go, any further up. I already knew ahead of time that getting tickets up to the crown of the Statue of Liberty, the very top of the head, with the little windows where you can peek out, I knew that wasn't at all a possibility for me, because that's done sort of through a lottery system, and you have to arrange it months and months in advance, and it's just luck if you happen to be able to get a spot up to go to the crown. And I hadn't done any of that preparation or tried any of that in advance of this trip, so there was no chance of me going up there. But I figured, and I'm all the way here, I might as well try to get up to the pedestal, which is the big stone fortification that the statue is built on top of, which itself is quite high up. So I had heard that they were giving away 4 passes to the pedestal every morning at about 7:45. That was the announcement that I heard on the loudspeaker right after they said that there was going to be an hour and a half wait just to get onto the ferry. They also mentioned that tickets for the pedestal were unavailable, and that if you wanted them, if you came at 7:45 in the morning, that they gave away 4 passes to the pedestal, and all the other passes to the pedestal were booked through online. And again, you had to book it a few weeks in advance, not a few months. But I hadn't done that preparation, and I didn't really want to, because I didn't really know what that day was going to be like. Whether I didn't really want to have a schedule that I had to follow with all the other things that I was doing. So I just wanted to take a chance and go nice and early, and maybe I was going to be one of those random 4 people. But anyways, I was much earlier than the 8:30 opening time, and I thought, well, I must have gotten the times wrong. So I wanted to check online and read what their website said. So I pulled out my netbook computer, which I had with me in my backpack, and I was just sort of wandering in the park trying to pick up some Wi-Fi from something in that area, and I was unsuccessful at doing that. And anyways, when I returned back to the battery, I was locking up my bike to start standing in line for my, it was going to be at least another hour and a half by that point. It was about 7 o'clock, maybe 7:15 by the time I started to think I was going to commit myself to standing in line. As I was locking in my bike, a big crowd of people seeming to come from lots of different directions all ended up walking right towards the entrance, and by the time I had my bike locked up and got in that lineup, there was already about 10 people ahead of me in line, which really made me mad since I had been there already for at least 15 or 20 minutes, in the park, but not standing in line. But all of a sudden they just came and swarmed, and I didn't get to be right at the front of that line. So I was thinking, well, maybe I'm not going to get the tickets to the statue now, or to the pedestal now, because I've come. I mean, I wasn't standing in line near the front. But then as we were waiting, I figured, well, maybe they want people to be waiting here ahead of time, and then when the ticket office opens at 8:30, then they have lots of people ready to go onto the boat and everything like that. And then maybe the 7:45 thing that they told me, maybe they just go into the big lineup of people and they just randomly select 4 people for those pedestal passes. So anyways, I waited really patiently, and the doors opened at 7:45, not 8:30, in fact. And basically, when they first, I guess around 7:30 or so, I started seeing staff members sort of filing into the big door right there where the tickets are sold. It's inside that Castle Clinton army base that's there. That's where you buy the tickets, inside of that base. And so I saw some people go in, and then all of a sudden I saw the line started to move forward a little bit. And at this point I was kind of reading through my guidebook, just reading about the statue and reading about Ellis Island, where I was going to be going that day, just so I'd know a little bit of the history of it ahead of time before getting there. But anyways, the line moved a little bit forwards, and then all of a sudden we just started all filing in, and I just went to a ticket booth. So I kind of figured at that point, well, maybe I knew that at the very front of the line there was like a group of 4 people sitting there, like a family of 4. And I thought, well, maybe they were the 4 that got randomly selected to get the pedestal pass. So I was really disappointed about that, but I mean, it was my fault for not standing in line right when I got to the park. So anyways, I walked through and I bought my ticket, and I was thinking about, when I got to the ticket office, I was going to ask the ticket attendant about maybe like what I had to do to put my name in to be randomly selected for this pedestal pass thing, but I realized, okay, well, now it's after 7:45. It must already be gone. I was, kind of too embarrassed to ask the question, so I just didn't. And so all the guy said to me was, I just started walking up to the counter, and I said hi, and he said just one? And yeah, it was just me by myself, so yeah, just one adult. So I said one, and then he said $13, and then I said, did you take credit card? So I gave him my credit card, and then he charged the credit card, and he gave me the ticket. And then I was thinking, after I'd already given the credit card, I was thinking, how come the sign said that it would cost, the sign outside the building said that it cost $21 if you wanted a ferry ride to Liberty Island and to Ellis Island. And then I was getting charged $13. So as I was walking out of the Battery, I was looking at my ticket thinking, I hope he didn't sell me something different. Because when I was there the other day, they were advertising that you could take a ferry that just did a loop around the island and then came back, which would be a quicker way of seeing the Statue of Liberty. And since it was hard to get pedestal passes, maybe that was a better option for some people. But I was looking at my ticket, really worried that maybe they had sold me, which wasn't what I wanted at all. But I looked down on the ticket, and it said on it that it was for a ferry to Liberty Island and Ellis Island, which made me breathe a sign of relief. And as I was looking at it, I saw beside it, it said, with Pedestal. And I looked at it 3 or 4 times in disbelief, thinking, how did I get a ticket for the Pedestal when I didn't say anything to me? They didn't do anything to me, and I just couldn't believe it. I just kept looking at it, thinking, the Pedestal. I thought that dream was already slipped away from my fingers. But in fact, I had a ticket that said with Pedestal. So I'm assuming at this point that what happened was that the 4 people that randomly get selected must be randomly selected by the computer. So when you buy your ticket, it registers, and it says, I guess it randomly picked me as one of the 4 that got the pass to the Pedestal. So that's what I'm assuming. Otherwise, maybe I heard wrong. Maybe they gave away 40. Maybe it was the first 40 that came. But anyways, it's a really restricted group that gets to go up to the pedestal, and certainly not. You certainly wouldn't have been able to do that if I had gone in, or if you had gone in at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. when they were advertising that they were no longer available. So anyways, I had a ticket for the pedestal, and I was top of the world. I was getting all ready to go through security, and you had to stand.